It's me, Pat Kraken MTG. We're back with some Modern discussion. Modern is my bread and butter. It is the format I tend to play the most. I play it every week, at least once a week. You are looking at my current, I'm calling it Eldrazi Prison deck. So far, I've been doing very good with this deck. In the last 3 weeks, I've gone 2-0 in draw or split in the last 2 of 3 weeks, which is not too bad. I will definitely take it at my local LGS where I play. So, looking at this deck, there's a couple things I want to talk about. I want to talk about the state of Modern and how sometimes it feels like this just seems to happen a lot. But we'll talk about that. I mean, honestly, the whole discussion around Nadu is Nadu. I was going to say Suko, which is the artifact that goes with it, but got a little confused there. I definitely believe it's going to get banned. Even the winner of the Pro Play, or the was it the RCQ? Anyway, the Amsterdam event even said that he believes his deck is going to get banned. So that's pretty much the end of the discussion there. It's just how long will it take and what way will they go about it. But right now I want to focus on my Eldrazi Tron deck here, or Eldrazi Prison. And I want to talk about my little adaptation here. My adaptation is I'm running 3 of the old Reality Smashers for a little more beatdown. I do like this card. It has its own functioning ward, and if it becomes the target of a spell an opponent controls, they must discard a card, or it counters that spell. I do like the little bit of extra beatdown, even though it's only playable on turn 3, which doesn't seem great for Modern right now. I do like that, but I do believe that's a little bit of a flex slot in this deck. Something that is new to this deck, and that is insanely powerful in my mind, is these guys. Devourer of Destiny, being able to set up your first card, your first draw card, and especially that's just a reveal from your hand at the start of the game, and at the beginning of your first upkeep, you get to look at the top 4 cards of your library, put one back on top, and exile the other 3. And if you have more than one in your hand, you can just exile all 4, see another 4, and this in conjunction with this in your opening hand is just absolutely busted, if you ask me. I mean, that's probably why I'm running it. But that begs the question, with so many decks right now relying on certain cards, why isn't this combo being talked about? I mean, turn 1 you can set up with your Devourer of Destiny, drop the Ugin's Labyrinth, put the Devourer of Destiny under it, put down your Stone Brain on turn 1, and then on turn 2, pick any card from your opponent's deck and just take it out of the game. That's going to, that's going to do something to Storm, that's going to do something to Yawgmoth, Titan, you name it, and of course, Nadu. So I feel like this combo in Modern, in Tron, is going to be coming soon. I'm thinking very, very hard about testing it in my deck here this next week, which is news to some of the people. Hopefully there's not too many of the players there watching this. Now, let's talk about some of the other new tech. Let's talk about this. I tried this as the basis of the deck, just trying to slam this out as early as humanly possible. If you assemble Tron, that can be turn 3. I mean, even if you have a couple Ugin's Labyrinth and a Eldrazi Temple on the battlefield, you can also do a turn 3. That's all you really need. But I found that it was just too inconsistent and it didn't have a backbone. And that's why it's down to 2 Cookbook, 2 Emrakul. Because it's fun when it happens, but it just didn't happen consistently enough for me to think it was worth it. Now, let's get to our other new tech. Kozilek's Command. This thing is an all-star. This thing just does it all. I mean, with the 4 modes, you couldn't ask for more, really. Especially with the graveyard hate, the creature hate, instant, colorless, creature hate, and graveyard hate, and Tron is just the chef's kiss. It's beautiful. Being able to ramp into your next spell, potentially next turn or even this turn, and the card, or the scrying and card draw is just too good. This, I mean, I would honestly consider running 4 of this. I'm trying to be a bit more aggressive with this deck. And as I say that, I pick up 4 Chalices of the Void. So this is the prison part of this deck. I very recently played a game against Burn. Burn was normally very favored against Tron because we just didn't have any answers to their early spells. But when you get one of these down against a Burn player, especially on 1 or 2, it can totally mess up their game. And it just so happened in one game I got a Chalice on 1 and a Chalice on 2 on turn 3, and my opponent reached over and shook my hand. It was that easy. And our other bit of hate, and I think I am going to be swapping out. I'm trading for one very soon. I'm going to be putting a 4th one of these in and taking out 1 Chalice, and I bumped the camera. Trinisphere is an all-star against so many decks right now, just slowing them down. Ruby Storm, 100% these things are absolutely awesome. No matter what their discount, something costs 3. And when you have that kind of cost in that deck, it just doesn't work. It simply does not work. Okay, so I mean, we can talk about these, but it's pretty obvious what these are for. They're for making my game go a lot better than yours. And of course, we have the Karn Grey Creators to go get our 4th ring out of the sideboard, or maybe just some kind of game-ending strategy, which there's a perfect example of a game-ending strategy for most. Go get your Soulless Jailer. He can stop those graveyard decks. Very helpful. Your other 1 ring. Got another cookbook in there just in case for some reason you can't find one and you have the Emrakul and you need a way to get rid of her. There it is. I threw this in there because the same reason, if we can get to it, same reason I have one of these. Sometimes you just got to go a little more aggressive. The All is Dust, just because, I mean, with Fish making a comeback, Elves making a comeback, you need your All is Dust in your sideboard. Another game ender with the liquid metal coating, using Karn the Great Creator to just blow up lands. Oblivion Stone, basically just another All is Dust, a little more costly because it doesn't have the reduction. It maybe should just be another All is Dust, to be completely honest. Some more Graveyard Hate, Pithing Needle. Naming, oh my lord, there's so many things you can name with this. I find it's great against the Planeswalkers and stuff. And I do have a Stone Brain and an Ensnaring Bridge in the sideboard because they can just mess up certain decks. Anything go wide strategy or Ensnaring Bridge and stuff. So back to my point, I do think that there is merit for these and that there's a good chance these are going to start seeing a lot more play in the colorless decks just because they can use it turn 2. Turn 2, the same land, put it on the battlefield turn 1, turn 2, you're popping it with the same land, and you still probably got 2 colorless sitting there. Looking pretty. That is where I'm at with this deck. I have been having a lot of fun with this. Eldrazi Tron has always been my favorite Chalice of the Void, and just pet deck as far as Tron goes. So much fun. It's a little bit stompy. It's a little bit control-y. It's still got the same mana boosting, even more now with the 8 soul lands. It's got all the power. That's what I like. And of course we can talk about the Ugins, but they're just your board wipes on a Planeswalker. Board wipe on a stick, if you will. And I'm sure there's some people out there that have seen this and want to give me some crap. So please do. Yes, I am running all the different colors, border, and all the different arts for the Tron land. So beat me up in the comments. Feel free. But I like them. A lot of people don't like that. So yes, this is my list. Something else that I think needs to go. You guys couldn't see this because it was off camera. This just isn't really working for me. the chances that I pull my 1 forest so I can Besage you something, more than likely I'm just going to lock it out with Void, or Chalice of the Void, or my Trinisphere, and I'm not going to have to worry about it. These might just become, or this might just become another basic forest. Okay, so that is kind of the wrap up of what this deck is trying to do. We've been having a lot of success lately, and I want to thank all the new patrons and all the old patrons, or patrons, subscribers, sorry, don't have a Patreon. So instead of doing some older cards, we're going to put some newer cards up in this one. So please, out of these 5 cards, pick one to put into the comments. And please hit the like and subscribe button. And at the end of the month, we'll be giving one away. Just give you guys one more look at them. Some good stuff in here. Oops. Definitely some newer cards. Desmond Miles. Gotta love it. And we'll just get it on camera one more time. Don't forget, when we get to 1,000 subscribers, we're going to give all this away. And more. Alright, please like, subscribe, comment, and tell me what you would do with this deck. Please tell me what modern deck you're playing if you do. Tell me if you're a commander player, if this is just as suppressive in commander as it being in modern. Later.